man, if you don't care, I think this is helpful because I think a lot of smaller towns. Do you guys are you're jujitsu all the time?
Our school is.
Yes.
So yes, we are
Okay.
jujitsu all the
Well,
time.
there's a um man, I don't think this is too long if I read this thing.
Read it
It's
out.
about
Let's
it,
see.
it's about why practice multiple
Okay.
arts or the
Okay.
advantage of it, or at least, and I think it's pertinent because we're talking about yoga and martial arts today. They seem
Right.
dissimilar. Why would you look at both?
Right.
Couldn't they detract from one another? But
Right.
anyway, it
Yeah.
says
Tell
it's
me.
quite unlikely that the arts and disciplines we practice today have descended to the present time in anything resembling their original form. If anything at all can be recovered, most of the truths are lost in the mist of time. However, whatever the case, I think we can assume ancient wisdom, although distorted, still survives in our modern practice,
Yes.
and these concepts and traits can be extracted with the aid of certain keys and patient research. A reasonable interpretation of our practice is based on a system of cross referencing in which all major schools are considered as one composite structure, regardless of cultural differences. Thus, each system is interpreted in the light of the others. As each system has been built up from innumerable older beliefs, the understanding of the various backgrounds are essential. The gaps in one discipline, where the traditions have been mutilated or lost, can be filled in from the other systems. What keeps us from this realization is that each man clinging to his own system, hugging to his heart his fragment of rules, and believing there is a particular virtue in proclaiming a part and denying the whole.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Isn't that
Yes.
nice?
It is nice. And it's for me, it's like the notion of wisdom, like water passing through earth, right? Like as the water makes its way through the earth down to these underground places where it's held, it is purified, And so the
Mm,
idea is that, start and then they move through time. And the time, changes it in this way and that way.
right.
But in the end, passing through all of that, it is distilled literally
It is
into
distilled
something.
literally. And then where, like, where we're missing something, maybe this has a
That's
word
right.
or a phrase that clicks it to you.
For
And
sure.
so, I do believe there's loyalty, to academies and to teachers and styles and stuff. But I do think early on, at least, the student, being able to expand and check this out, check that out. And like I said, being in the age of the internet, I have to say,
Yes, you
I
can be
mean,
exposed to whatever wherever your
exactly.
curiosity takes you,
What
right?
do they say? No, used to it was the man that had information that was valuable, and now it's the man that knows how to filter through it.
That's right.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, and I think it's a time issue. I mean, you like you can only spend so much time in your life pursuing certain types of things,
right?
right? So,
You
like
need
for
that
me,
teacher that's going to
you
point you.
yeah, well, without a doubt. And even then, to get a full taste of any given thing requires a certain amount of time. Like for me,
Right.
for to the notion that I could be expanding outside of jujitsu, which I'm terrible at to begin with, right? Like I mean, I only have the time to do so in terms of the
Right.
practical application of the
Right.
idea. However, the broader application, like for example, I always think of penmanship, calligraphy, cooking as in the same kind of conversation of like I feel like you need to have a relationship to food, and that's super important. And that
Right.
means and preparation of that and understanding how things balance each other within the context of cooking just
Yep.
has applicability outside the plate.